The UFO phenomenon has captivated human imagination for decades, raising questions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the nature of these unidentified flying objects. This video will explore the most likely scenario behind the UFO phenomenon, delving into the connection between UFOs, nuclear weapons, and energy, as well as the correlation between UFOs and water. Included are various cases, texts that are cited to provide a comprehensive understanding of these unexplained occurrences. UFO sightings have been reported worldwide. A lot of folks have this disengaged notion that UFOs only show up in the United States. This is farthest from the truth. There are UFO accounts that date back to ancient civilizations. However, let's keep it in the modern day. Modern interest in UFOs surged in the mid-20th century, particularly after the infamous Roswell incident in 1947. Numerous theories have emerged to explain these sightings, ranging from extraterrestrial visitors to advanced human technology, future humans, and even interdimensional beings. One of the most compelling, and if you're looking at Occam's razor, one of the most simple explanations about UFOs and why they're here is the extraterrestrial hypothesis, which poses that these objects are spacecraft simply piloted by beings from other planets. This theory is supported by numerous eyewitness accounts, abduction reports, physical evidence, and so much more. Photography, videography, you name it, we have it. Key cases: Betty and Barney Hill, the first abduction, 1961. One of the most famous abduction cases, the Hills reported being taken aboard a UFO and subjected to medical experimentation by these extraterrestrial beings. This case, thoroughly investigated and documented, has become a cornerstone of abduction research. I've had Kathleen Martin on the podcast, who is the niece of Betty and Barney Hill. Link to that description below. The Pascagoula abduction. I also have had Philip Mantle, who wrote the book with Calvin Parker, who was a part of the Pascagoula abduction and recently passed away. A link for that will be in the description as well. But the Pascagoula abduction of 1973, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker reported being taken aboard a craft by strange humanoid beings. Their detailed accounts, coupled with physical evidence, have made this case one of the most credible abduction stories of all time. Hands down. Especially now with the work that Dr. Irena Scott and Philip Mantle have put in after the fact. Their book is a wealth of information and corroboration from people who also saw the craft that may or may not have taken Calvin and Charles that night. The Travis Walton case, made famous by the motion picture A Fire in the Sky, which tragically did get it in the zeitgeist, but didn't get it absolutely correct. Travis Walton admits this himself, that they definitely played around with the luxuries of the horror element to the film, and the ending was a complete rewrite of the story. Travis does lean more towards the fact that these beings actually saved his life rather than were trying to harm him. He got too close to the craft, touched it, and his heart stopped, and they were simply fixing a mistake. He was gone for 5 days. A lot of the Wikipedia stuff is very, very subjective and leans more towards the conspiratorial side of things and does not cite a lot of what is actually happened with the Travis Walton case. Not to mention the bribery that happened by certain people that were debunkers who tried to even get people that were involved in the story, the loggers that were with Travis Walton, to flip and say the case was nonsense, and that they would give them a financial incentive. But let's not get into that. That is kind of hearsay, and let's stick to what we know. The Travis Walton case is very, very unique. He was indeed missing for 5 days. His friends were actually subjected to investigation that they potentially murdered their coworker. This is all fact. Travis shows up 5 days later, banged up, looking very unshaven, unclean, unwell, and this case remains a mystery to this day. UFOs and nuclear energy are a significant aspect of the UFO phenomenon and its connection to humanity. I think that when we rang that nuclear bell, when we split the atom, that we opened a door and told the universe that we were ready for a higher threshold, that we were coming out of our infancy. But that is just my theory. However, there is a clear throughput line between UFOs and nuclear energy, nuclear weapons, and just the nuclear aspect in general. Some key cases would be the 1967 Maelstrom Air Force incident, where multiple UFOs were reported near the base, coinciding with the shutdown of at least 10, but up to 12 completely separate nuclear missiles. They are designed so that if one goes down, they do not all go down. They are not linked together, so this is what made it a really, really significant event. Not only did one missile go down, but all of them went down simultaneously. Now, Robert Salas, was the controller of the room at that time, and said that they took the equipment apart piece by piece, ran diagnostics, and could find no fault or reason that this would have happened or been something that was just equipment malfunction. This really happened, and that there were UFOs that were seen over the base, and there's just no way to say that this was not a message. Robert is very clear in his notion that this was a message, and it was that no matter what you have, we can shut it off at an instant. And it was very clear. And Robert's been on many UFO lectures, podcasts, telling this story, and has a very, very unique tie to the phenomenon. But that's not all. There are so many events that have taken place at nuclear bases that I can't even get into it all here. But we will touch on many cases in this series. One case in particular I do want to bring up is one that happened in Russia and was only, released to the public when George Knapp went over to Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. They had a similar event where UFOs were seen over the nuclear base. Missiles were not shut down, but turned on. And with the help of one person, we avoided nuclear holocaust and absolute World War III and the end of our civilization. We will get into that case and we will break it down a lot further, but it just goes to show you that this is not just a United States phenomenon. The 1980 Bentwaters Woodbridge incident. UFOs were sighted near RAF Bentwaters, a base that was a strategic US-UK run Allied stronghold at its peak. This base was certainly housing nuclear missiles or weapons. This event heavily was documented by the military personnel that were involved on multiple nights, and this adds a credibility to the nuclear UFO connection. We'll dive more into that case and a lot more of these cases in the coming months in this series, like I've said. Our key references for some stuff like this are, indeed Robert Hastings, his book UFOs and Nukes, Extraordinary Encounters at Nuclear Weapon Site. Hastings' book compiles numerous cases linking UFOs with nuclear sites, providing a detailed examination of this intriguing correlation. Also, Richard Dolan. Dolan's work explores the broader implications of UFO sightings near sensitive military installations and their potential impact on national security. Some additional cases are the 1952 Hanford sightings, where multiple UFOs were reported near Hanford Nuclear Production Complex in Washington. These sightings involved both civilian and military witnesses, suggesting an ongoing interest in nuclear facilities. So it's not just nuclear military sightings, it also is the civilian sector as well. The 1954 uranium mines incident. UFOs are reported near uranium mines in the Belgian Congo. The presence of these objects in remote areas and these locations involved in nuclear material production adds another layer to the UFO and nuclear connection. These cases indicate a pattern: UFO activity near nuclear sites, near nuclear weapons, near nuclear energy, suggesting at least an interest or concern for human nuclear capabilities. The recurring nature of these incidents across different locations, time periods, it just supports the hypothesis that UFOs may be and most likely are monitoring our nuclear technology. UFOs and water. Another fascinating aspect of the UFO phenomenon is its correlation with water. Many sightings have occurred near oceans, lakes, rivers, leading to theories about underwater bases or the use of water for propulsion or energy purposes. We could go on for days with the amount of cases. There's even a new word, USO, for unidentified submersible object, that has been created. Richard Dolan is actually working on a book about this right now, and I cannot wait to dive into this. He has had access to plenty of archives, including MUFON, New Fork, so he's compiled an amazing set of cases. I hope to one day have him on the podcast and really get into it. But some key cases we can look at are the Shag Harbor incident of 1967. It's a UFO reportedly crashed into the waters off Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. Despite an extensive search over multiple days, no debris was found, fueling speculation about underwater UFO bases. The Lake Baikal sightings. This Siberian lake has been the site of numerous UFO sightings and underwater encounters, suggesting a possible interest in deep, freshwater bodies. It's not only that, but Catalina Island, where the famous 2004 Nimitz USS Battle Group encounter took place. I've been to Catalina Island myself. This is the spot that has clearly got something going on. There is just no doubt about it. Now, the UFO phenomenon remains one of the most intriguing and controversial subjects of modern times, but it's the most important at the same time. While the extraterrestrial hypothesis provides a compelling explanation for sightings, it is essential to consider a broader spectrum of possibilities. There could be many phenomena happening at the same time. So to back yourself into a corner or pigeonhole yourself to one idea is very naive. When has this world ever been easy? The connection to nuclear weapons and energy, as well as the correlation with water, suggests that UFOs might be part of a complex array of phenomena that defy singular explanation. Various theories propose that UFOs could be advanced human technology, natural atmospheric phenomena, and even interdimensional visitors. The diversity of cases and patterns observed in different contexts by different researchers indicate that there might be multiple answers to what is going on with UFOs and their occupants. This multifaceted approach will encourage us to remain open to new evidence, new perspectives, and the acknowledgement that the true nature of these mysterious objects may encompass a range of phenomena that challenge our current understanding of our reality. The search for answers continue every day, and they continue to compel and captivate us and to keep us moving forward, to ask these hard, challenging, existential questions, inviting us to explore the unknown with an open mind and a sense of wonder. Thanks, guys. This has been Total Disclosure. We'll be back. My name's Tyler. Make sure to like, make sure to share, make sure to subscribe. If you want to help support the channel further, become a member. We are working on a film right now, and it will definitely be available behind that member paywall, especially early for our members. You get a yearly gift after 12 months consecutive membership, and it's truly what keeps us going is that engagement with the community. You guys are the best, and keep your eye to the sky because you never know what might fly by.